All right, it's one of those cross-promotion episodes, and what's interesting about the show I'm going to play for you, and it's short, by the way, is called Building a Better Dave. And what's interesting about this show, I am lucky if I get 100 downloads per episode of this show, and yet the people that listen to this show are more vocal than any other audience I have. If I go too long, maybe it's been a month and a half, because there is no schedule on this show. They'll be like, hey, when's the next Better Dave coming out? So the other fun part of this show is it's not there to make money. It doesn't have a set schedule. It is a show I do when I feel like doing it, and I just try to make you laugh, cry, think, or groan. Some of the episodes are weird. I know the one before the episode that I'm going to play for you today was when you're in your 50s, anything that goes wrong with your body, you instantly assume you have cancer. And in my case, I ended up having an ingrown hair in my armpit. Yep, that was a podcast episode. Now, the one today, the reason I thought I would play this is I put it out. It's got a good message, I feel. It is an actual story. And I had 5 people email me that said, hey, that was a good episode. Thanks for sharing that with us, because it talks about me and a car wreck that I had this week. So with that, here is the episode from Building a Better Dave called So You Had a Bad Day. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I look in my rearview mirror and I'm like, well, this is going to suck.
Live from the basement, it's Building a Better Dave. Check us out at betterdave.com. Email us at dave@betterdave.com. Or call in your comments, 888-563-3228. Now, here's your host, Dave Jackson.
Hello. Welcome to Building a Better Dave. I'm Dave, and I did not have a good day today. Or did I? That's what we're going to talk about. I had this special thing at my church, and they wanted me to provide some music, and it was kind of a last minute thing. And so I talked with, the church lady. She said, can you just find instrumental music on the internet? And I was like, hey, I got it on my phone. So I found that. Problem solved. Great. I just got to be able to plug my phone into the sound system. And I'm like, okay, that's not a big deal. And I know I have at least 3 of these cables that is basically a headphone jack on one end and what is known as an RCA jack on the other. I've got an adapter that'll take the RCA jack, turn it into a 1/4 inch. It'll plug right into the sound system. But I think about it. I'm like, okay, I think I know where those cables are. And, but just in case, I'm going to bring my JBL Bluetooth, because that'll blow everybody out of the sound system anyway. Great. And then later find out, oh, you're going to read some scripture. Not a problem. Go to Bible.com, get the scripture, copy and paste it into a Google Doc, print it out at like 14, 16 font so I have a clue that what I'm reading. All I need is that cable. And it dawns on me, glad I remembered that. My phone has one of those lightning ports, so I'm going to have to find my other cable that converts the lightning port to, what we would call a headphone jack. Okay, I know I have, again, probably 3 of those. Just got to find the cables. That's all. You know what? I've got a cabinet behind me. If you ever see my live video stuff, I got all the cables in there. It's got to be in there. Pull all the cables out. And I'm here to tell you, I know I have at least 3 of the RCA cable and 3 of the little converters. Cannot find the RCA jack. And I was like, all right. I even go into the basement. Nope. And then, I saw my toolbox from when I was playing in bars, and that thing had every kind of converter on it imaginable. Nope. And I was like, well, I was going to go to Walmart to get this fruit plate. I'm sure in the electronics section, they have this headphone to RCA cable, and then we'll be good to go. Great. Except, wait, don't forget, I got to have that converter one to go from lightning to a headphone jack. And I know it's somewhere on my desk here, right? And I know where they are. It's got to be, I've got a Horse Radio Network cup, and I cannot find it for the life of me, but I know it has a couple different converters in it. And that whole 1/4 inch to RCA jack. Yeah, that's not, okay, so we're going to Walmart. Got it. Got to get a fruit plate. Got to get an RCA cable, and got to get an Apple Lightning converter kit. Got it. I got to get there before 5. And so I'm, I don't know, 30% of the way to the church. I look over and I'm like, oh crap. I forgot my large print scripture that I printed out. And it dawns on me, well, you could always read it off your phone, right? Is that going to work? I can read it. All right, hold on. I'll turn around. I'll go back. I got time. Thing doesn't start till 5. Go back, launch the umbrella, get into the house, get the paper, come back out, put up the umbrella, get in the car, take the umbrella down. Okay, now we got to get to Walmart. We got to get there quick. And it is really, really raining hard. And so I get to Walmart. Luckily, got like a 5th space in line, so I don't have to go that far in Walmart. But Walmart's drainage is like, I might as well have taken a canoe to get into Walmart. I go in. Luckily, 2 fruit plates right there. Grab them. And I'm like, now it's just to get those cables. So I go over, I'm running over, almost running down people in Walmart, and get to the electronic section. And I'm looking around, and I don't see that stereo to RCA cable. And I know I've seen them in Walmart before, but that might have been a while ago. And I'm like, why wouldn't you have that cable? And I'm like, an RCA cable, like the ones you would, plug into the back of a cassette deck.
Oh, that's not one of our top answers.
And maybe that's why it's not here. And almost all, any kind of audio connection now is just the headphone jack to headphone jack cable. 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch if we get super technical. Or it's just Bluetooth. That's really how you connect most speakers today. And I'm not connecting a speaker. I got to get my phone into the sound system. And I was like, there might be an RCA jack at the church already, maybe. And I'm like, okay, but I still need that converter cable. And it's in one of those cabinets at Walmart where you have to get somebody to let you in the cabinet, and there's nobody in sight. Nobody in sight. And I was like, So I kind of do another quick run around and make sure there's no RCA. Really? There's no RCA cable here? Hold on. Finally, there's a guy from Walmart, but he's talking to his 2 buddies. I cannot get his attention. And it dawns on me, you know what? We're running out of time. I'm just going to send my phone into this Bluetooth speaker. It sounds amazing. It's loud. It'll work. Let's get out of here. So I get up to the line, and I've got my umbrella, but what I don't have is my wallet. No! Yeah, this is just one of those days. I forgot the pages. Now I forgot my wallet. This is one of those cases where I am one step ahead of myself and constantly forgetting stuff. So I have one of the awesome Walmart workers. I'm like, hey, I'm going to leave this here for 2 seconds. I got to go get my wallet. Go out, get the wallet, come back in, pay for the fruit, because that's all we have at this point, and go back out to the car. And I'm looking down. I'm like, ooh, I don't have much time. Got a little over a half hour. But I'm close to the church. And it's raining even harder. So I go out of Walmart, start heading the way. I'm thinking, okay, we're just going to go Bluetooth, put the fruit stuff in the trunk. We're good to go. And we're going down. It's a flat road. It's straight. And we're all cruising along. Everybody's wipers are tat, 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 tat. They're going spastic. And somebody must have turned right. Now, this is one of those roads that pretty much everybody just goes straight. And there are offshoots, but nobody goes on those. I mean, who lives out here? Who wants to live next to Walmart? Well, somebody did. And nobody was ready for them to slow down and turn right. So you just see brake light after brake light after brake light. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, because that person just stopped dead right in front of me. So I'm paying attention, and I slam on my brakes, and I stop what felt like about 10 inches from hitting this person. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I look in my rearview mirror, and I'm like, well, this is going to suck. Because, and she was a lovely girl, but there was no way she was going to stop in time. And I see her start to slide. She didn't really go off the road. I couldn't go off the road because I saw it. And I was like, if I wasn't 10 inches from the car in front of me, I would have just pulled off the road and let her hit the guy in front of me. And I just stood on the brake because I'm like, I'm going to get hit. And so she smashes into me, and I feel the back of my chair just whop me upside the head. So I'm like, all right, good. That'll be some good, whiplash or something on my neck tomorrow. And my hand, the force of me going forward, my hands let go or were, broke free of the steering wheel, and my left hand basically punched the dashboard. So I've got a kind of funky bruise on my left knuckles here, and it's fine. You know what I mean? It's one of those things I'll probably wake up tomorrow and go, ow. And it's still raining cats and dogs, so I get out, and she rolls down her window. I go, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, are you okay? And I go, yeah. And I look over, and I'm really expecting like my trunk to just be collapsed. And I look over, and it's really not that bad. It looks like somebody took like a guy's wallet, you know what I mean? That's like a little rectangle, and just smushed it into my bumper. Like there was a wallet-sized, I don't know, inch to half-inch deep dent into my car. But nothing's too wild. I saw when I looked at it later that the fenders on the back might have gotten a little smushed because things moved forward a little bit. But nothing what I thought it was going to be. I really expected to get out and hear the sound of the gas tank. Nothing. It's perfectly fine. She was fine. I said, okay, well, I guess we'll call 911 and have somebody call. We'll make a report. She's like, yeah, that's fine. I go, okay, great. She's apologizing prophetically. I'm like, really, it's fine. It was rainy out. Not a problem. I don't, there was a part of you that goes, were you looking at your phone? But I was like, you know what? Cars are replaceable. I'm fine. You're fine. That's great. And I'm near my church. So I do that whole thing like, act like a Christian. Let's be forgiving here. And I wasn't happy about it, but it's an accident. That's why they call them, I don't know, accidents. So I call 911 and they're like, where are you at? And I'm like, I seriously just wanted to go, I'm between Walmart and the church. Come on, you know where I'm at. And I'm looking around, and I don't know about you, but if people put their numbers on their houses, they're like, I don't know, 500 feet off the road, and it's, a half an inch tall. So finally I figure out that I'm at such and such East Street, whatever. And they're like, okay, we'll send somebody there. Like, great. So we kind of pull off the road, which you had already done, really. And I'm like, so the first thing I did was I called the church because, like, I'm supposed to be playing music in what is now about, 25 minutes. And they're like, okay. So I'm like, we might want to come up with a plan B. All right. But I'm fine. Yep, I'm fine. Okay, good. And I can see where my hand is starting to be a little wonky, but I'm happy that everything's able to move. And it takes a while for the police to show up. And this poor guy is still standing out in a tray. And I thought he was going to have like a Smokey Bear hat on or something. Nothing. He's just getting drenched. He's trying to write on his little note paper with a pen. I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. And, I show him my insurance thing and my driver's license. And, nobody's detesting anything. It's like, hey, I ran into this guy, And so he finally leaves. And I'm like, am I able to? He's like, yeah, if you can drive, go ahead and go. So I'm now headed to the church because this special ceremony starts in about 5 minutes, if that. And I'm about 4 minutes from the church. And I'm like, okay, well, I hit like every red light available, of course, and I'm waiting, and now I'm late. And so I go to get out of the car. It's still raining. It's not torrential downpour anymore, but it's raining hard. So I launch the umbrella. I get out of the car. I got my phone because I'm going to need it. And I throw it in my back pocket. And then I hit the button on my key because I got to get the fruit. Got to get the fruit out of the back. And I open up the trunk, and one of the fruit plates is now splattered across the back of my back seat. And my trunk smells very fruity. It's like, pineapple. I'm hungry. We've lost one, but we have one that's pretty much okay. It looks like the lid might have gotten a little tilted. And so I'm trying to hold the umbrella with kind of my shoulder and neck as I get the fruit bowl and in one hand, and then try to close the lid on the trunk. I feel I've got my keys, I got my phone. I turn to go into the church. I'm like, oh wait, I need the Bluetooth speaker. Okay, so I turn around, hold the umbrella with my neck kind of again, try to put my fruit in my left hand. As I open up the door, I'm reaching around to grab the wireless speaker, which is now fallen on the floor because of the wreck. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm trying to hold all this stuff, and the umbrella goes like AWOL. It's like, never mind, I'm out of here. So I'm just getting drenched on. I get the Bluetooth speaker, and I go to put the fruit bowl, which is now sopping wet and it's plastic, in my other hand so I can grab the umbrella, and the fruit ball just goes flying. Like slow-mo. You see all the fruit come off the lid, and you're just like, you got to be kidding me. And sure enough, it lands wrong way. Fruit goes everywhere, and I'm like, well, birds, Mr. Groundhog, enjoy the buffet. So I'm like, well, if I know it's a church, and there's that famous scripture, I think it's in the New Testament, where two or more are gathered, there will be casseroles, and we're going to be fine. So, and at this point, I just want to get in because this special service is starting, and I'm late. And so I'm thinking to myself, this has been a really crappy day. I can't believe it. You know, I got hit. I just wasted about $20 of fruit, and I couldn't find my stupid cables. I'm going to have to play the stuff through this Bluetooth speaker. This is just dreadful. Except for one thing. That special ceremony at the church that I was going to be involved with, and as I walked in, I saw where someone was reading the scripture that I was going to read, was for a funeral. And that funeral was for a guy who was 41 that used to be in my Sunday school. And he was a very entertaining kid. He turned me on to Alice in Chains. It was the first time I really gave them a shot. And I've known him and his sister. I sit next to his dad every week in church. I've known his mom. I've sang with her in choir. And he was in a much worse car accident and didn't make it. And I say this because, yeah, I had some things go bad, but not as bad as the day his parents, his older sister, and his 3 kids were having. So if you're having a bad day, someone else is having a worse one. And try to be grateful for the fact that my car is still drivable, that I didn't get hurt, and that I lived to see another day. And his sister read some things, and that got me, that got the waterworks going. I can't imagine. I'm very close with my brother, and I can't imagine life without him. And when I think about outliving your kids, I don't know that there's a deeper pain. I don't know. I can only, I say I can only imagine, but to be honest with you, I can't. So on the way to a funeral, I got rear-ended. Not a great day, but it could have been a lot worse. Instead of sitting at the back of the church running the sound system, I could have been sitting in the front row looking at a picture of my son or my brother or my dad So keep that in mind. And I hope tomorrow's better. Can't get much worse, in the immortal words of Lennon and McCartney. Take care. So that is Building a Better Dave. The tagline, Stories from Life's Crooked Path. It's really just an audio diary. You can find it at betterdave.com. Thanks for listening. I will see you on Monday with another episode of The School of Podcasting.